You ever been able to do the splits?
No, but I had a girlfriend who could once. It's amazing. Jean-Claude Van Damme is an actor who's primarily known for two things he does in most of his movies: kicking things quite hard and lounging around with his legs at an awkward, obtuse angle. In 2013, the company Volvo decided to take advantage of this fact by having Jean-Claude Van Damme do the splits between two of its trucks while moving at high speed. A stunt that was, contrary to what you may have heard, 100% real.
I did see that commercial when it aired, and I always wondered what the point was.
It was part of a series of commercials for a new line of Volvo trucks to highlight various, improvements Volvo had made to the design in a novel and interesting way. In regards to that particular advert, that was designed to showcase the stability of the trucks, but obviously showing that, Jean-Claude Van Damme can do the splits between them. And the ads were the brainchild of a Swedish ad company called Fordsman and Fordsman and what you got in front of you? What?
Forsman and
Forsman.
Fors.
Forsman and Bowden Fors. I do this for a living.
Free advertising for that company if anyone can figure out what the name is.
The thing is, you think an advertising company that specialises in promoting things would pick a name that's easier to pronounce. But I digress. Let's talk about the adverts they make, because they're all quite interesting.
I don't think I've actually seen any of the other commercials. I think I've only seen the Van Damme one.
Yeah, not a lot of people realise that the Van Damme splits commercial was supposed to be the finale of a series of commercials showcasing various aspects of Volvo trucks in similar ways, which is kind of a shame because some of the people in those ads display equally as large, if not larger, balls than Van Damme did during his display of testicle stretching finesse.
What do they do in their adverts?
Well, one of my favourites is to showcase the clearance of Volvo trucks. A guy who works for the company willingly allows himself to be buried up to his neck in sand in the middle of the fucking desert and then has one of Volvo's trucks drive over his own head at high speed. Again, a stunt they did for real.
This means 300mm ground clearance, just a little bit more than my head.
And I'm going to say that guy has got some fucking balls. Because the thing is though, he doesn't even face the truck. He faces the opposite way. So he's buried up to his neck in the sand, facing towards a camera, presumably in the lens of which he can see the reflection of a speeding juggernaut going at 80 miles an hour, speeding towards the back of his head. And then there's another one to showcase how fine and sensitive the steering of their trucks are. They get a hamster to turn the wheel of a Volvo truck in motion to show that even a small hamster can turn the wheels of one of their 32-ton juggernauts in motion. And that's really cool, isn't it? That's a really novel way of showing off, our steering's really sensitive. How sensitive? Well, a hamster can steer the wheel. What? So no wonder you see a lot of truck drivers driving one arm out the window. The thing is though, I'm terrified of trucks because whenever I go home, my mum likes watching really shit reality TV shows. One of which I saw was Police Interceptors Special Truck Edition. Because trucks are so high off the ground, the police say, yeah, it's a really big problem we have with truck drivers watching TV. Literally, they'll be driving along, so you've got to drive 10 hours a day in a straight line, which is boring as fuck. So, and because they're so high in the cabin, you can't see them from a regular police car. We have to go in our own trucks, undercover, to catch them and say, we've caught people lying down having a nap. There was one guy with a microwave plugged into his cigarette lighter and was microwaving his lunch and eating it off his knee. We've had people watching TV. There are people just sat with mobile phones with Game of Thrones and shit on it while they're driving. Yeah, so now ever since I've watched that, every time in a car we go past a truck, I shit myself. So I think someone there's been statistics released saying, yeah, it's a crazy percentage of truck drivers are driving distracted or on drugs. And I think in America this is more prevalent because in America, because the times they have to drive so ridiculously ball-shatteringly knackering, a lot of the truck drivers are just on drugs so they can drive through the night. And it's oh, That's making me really comfortable to drive on these roads. Thank you. It's the hardest job in the world. It's like they've never worked in retail, and that's to deal with a person who wants to return something that they didn't buy from your shop.
They do sound like very interesting stunts to prove the trucks are good, I guess.
Yeah, I think there was another one as well where they had like a ballerina walk a tightrope between two to showcase, like, you know, the same thing Jean-Claude Van Damme stunt did. I've always said if I ever have children, I'm going to make them do two things, and that will be they get to choose. You can do gymnastics or dance and martial arts. And I don't care how much they kick, how much they scream, how much they complain, how much they say people at school were picking on them. When they get to 15 years old and they are ripped as balls and all their friends are female and they're walking around like jacked as old, they'll go, Dad, thank you. They'll give me the look of, like, they'll give me the falcon look.
I knew you were going to say that.
They'll give me, I love that look so much. It's so good. I keep representing videos. It's my favourite, just like visual reaction gif. It's just the Falcon and the Winter Soldier just going, yeah, fucking love it. So I think a conversation I've had a few times with my friends, and probably a lot of people have before, is like, what kind of person would you never mess with? And obviously they'll answer like, oh, a bouncer, a bodyguard, special forces, something like that. No, I'm put out there, dancer. Because one, they are ripped as balls, and two, you don't know what exactly it is they can do with their body, because there are so many kinds of dance. And I'm now thinking, so like, imagine you start a fight with someone, and it turns out like he knows how to do like Michael Flatley's river dance. And his hands are completely rigid by his body, but he's just doing with both his legs simultaneously, like Chun-Li's lightning legs, and just kicking you 40,000 times in the face. Or maybe the guy's like super good at like fucking tap dancing, and when you try to fight him, he's stepping on your toes like 40 times a second. You know, don't fuck with dancers, man. Those guys are crazy.
Kick your heads off.
They've got the power in their legs to do it. Any man who has sufficient strength to pick up like 100-pound woman and spin around at high speed and then drop her to the floor and then do jumping splits while also spinning is a guy I'm not going to fuck with, because he's one step removed from turning all the way upside down and just doing the spinning bird kick. So I'm not going to fight that. I'm not going to fight anyone who can almost do a Street Fighter move in real life. I won't be surprised if dancers know how to do the Hadouken. They just don't do it because it's not aesthetically pleasing.
So get back to Van Damme.
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, the Van Damme stunt was supposed to be like the crowning moment of this ad campaign. And there was a few like digital and camera tricks, like, you know, to ensure Van Damme safe. So like some hidden wires that were then erased digitally after the fact. And behind the wing mirrors of the two trucks that he was doing the splits between were little platforms. But other than that, the stunt was done for real. He was not at risk of falling off, but still, he's doing the splits between two trucks travelling at high speed. And obviously it's done on a closed road, and there's like lots of safety crews about and all sorts of shit like that. But at the same time, that's terrifying. And do you know what makes it even scarier?
What?
Do you know how long Van Damme had to prepare for that stunt?
Well, I assume like months.
No.
Weeks?
Keep going.
Days?
Yeah, 3. Jesus. 3 days. And do you know what the thing is, well, he didn't even practice. And when an interviewer asked him, like, why didn't you practice? He went, well, to be fair, I had a shortage of trucks. It's like, that is such a cool answer, isn't it? It's such a Van Damme thing to do. I bet as well, didn't he just sit from a course? Oh, I love the fact that Van Damme's like, he's aware of the facts. Like, I'm never going to be in a martial arts movie again that's any good. I haven't got it in me anymore. But I can just do all this dumb shit in adverts and get free beer for the rest of my life. So I respect any actor who sells out for that. It's like Mads Mikkelsen did it, didn't he, for a beer?
He must have been at least a little bit scared.
Oh, he absolutely wasn't. Because, according to Jean-Claude Van Damme, and this is fucking true, when he was asked by an interview, like, were you scared? He went, no, I was alright. Like, really? Screaming along a motorway at 70 miles an hour, like with your bollocks basically just like almost split in two, exposed to the elements, supported only by 2 small platforms behind the wing mirrors of trucks that aren't even for sale yet. He's like, oh no, it's fine, because the only thing going through my mind at that moment was the music of Enya. So yeah, if you ever find yourself watching that advert again on YouTube, just think to yourself, like, while you're watching Jean-Claude Van Damme careen down that highway at high speed with his balls exposed to the breeze, the only thing going through his head is not the fact he might fall off and die, but the music of an Irish pop star called Enya. What a fucking don. So I'm not overly familiar with the music of Enya. Like, she's an Irish pop singer, and like, her songs like quite peaceful out there.
Yeah, relaxing.
Yeah, I'm guessing like Van Damme was using like a meditative way, like to keep himself relaxed. But if I'm flying along the motorway like an extra from Mad Max, doing the splits between two screaming juggernauts, travelling at like, I don't know, like 1/5 the speed of sound or some shit, I don't want that. I want like Dragon Force playing. I want like all of the music from Mad Max. Like, I won't be surprised if just off camera in that scene, the Doof Warrior was there.
I'd want the opening theme music from Metal Gear Solid 2. That is a nice track.
That is a good one, that. Or like, oh, in that vein though, you want Snake Eater. Just, it's now in a dream, Snake Eater. Instead of climbing a ladder though, you're just going along a motorway doing the splits between two trucks. And at the end of it, just the sniper end, just lining up a shot on your ball.
You're so perfectly balanced. That's the advert.
No,
It's not him balancing. It's the fact that a sniper can hit you because you're not moving.
No, if you're going to do Metal Gear Solid, do the chase music when you're getting chased by the Shagohod. So what I'm now imagining is, like, in addition to the Doof Warrior, there's also the Shagohod just off the other side. So what you're going to do for me now, Brad, is you're going to Photoshop in, like, you've got Jean-Claude Van Damme doing a switch between the trucks, and you've got to expand it and put in the Doof Warrior, and then on the other side, the Shagohod. But it's got to be the Shagohod when Volgin's on top of it, controlling it with his electric powers. Like, what other shit could he be being chased by?
What else can go in the
Yeah.
background?
What other awesome chase scenes are there? Like, fuck it, put in the T-Rex as well. The T-Rex from Jurassic Park. So I think the Jurassic Park theme song would be quite relaxing. Not if there's a T-Rex chasing you, like, but fucking... So, what other movies are there where I think a person gets chased by something giant and dangerous?
See, you're saying this, but my head's just thinking more editing time.
Yeah, but what my head's thinking is, it plays well for the audience, Brad. It plays well for the audience. Do it for the views, man.
It'll be the perfect opportunity to be like, oh, but Brad started streaming and he's doing the Photoshops.
Oh God, you're at that level now, are you? Plugging your stream in the middle of a video. Go on, put the little fact bar below with it in, letting people know that you streams come check you out on Twitch. And also, in addition to the T-Rex, I want you to put in the drone from Terminator 3.
Wait, the Hunter Killer?
Yeah, the Hunter Killer, just because. It's super cool. And then while you're at it as well, put in the RV with the evil bees on it from Vigilante 8.
I don't know what that is.
You can Google it.
I'll find it.
It's the old man who has like the truck with bees in it.
Can I also put in Jim Carrey on the staircase?
Yes, that's going. But Jim Carrey's got wearing his Riddler outfit. That is so fucking strong. The ultimate chase. It's Jean-Claude Van Damme being chased by the Doof Warrior, the Shagohod, Jim Carrey throwing his shoes, the Hunter Killer from Terminator 3, the T-Rex, and the guy with bees from Vigilante 8. Oh, God, are there any other things that just chase cars in movies now we can put in?
I'm envisioning it in my head now, and obviously
It's a bit messy,
I've got
isn't
to have
it?
an even number on each side, which means if you want to put something else in, it's got to be something huge.
It's got to be something huge.
It's got to fill the entire background.
It's got to fill the entire background. Okay, then.
I'm talking like kaiju levels of size.
Okay, in which case then, just do the ship from Independence Day crashing it. And they're all running away together. Oh my God, that's fucking strong.